Inspiring the Masses presents the Venus A Goddess Show. How do I start recreating my reality? Blissful Rise, my Universal Stars community. Welcome and thank you for joining me at the Venus A Goddess Show, here where I share with you the tips, tools, and education that you and I need to begin the process of recreating our lives and living in more abundance and operating in our natural essence and flow of things so that, we can begin to enjoy the things that we are doing or reach our goals, and so that we can have more wins, and so that you and I can celebrate ourselves. I love you all, my Universal Stars community. I love that you are encouraging and that you are inspiring, and I love the comments that you share. I love being able to dialogue with you. So here at the Venus A Goddess Show, I don't care for dictatorship. I don't care for that at all. This is a care community. This is a care community where you and I share, you and I inspire, you and I encourage, and you and I get to just converse in a healthy dialogue with one another, not just a monologue, not just a dictatorship where I dictate or speak some things. I love hearing from you. And so I love you guys. I love your comments. I love your inspirational messages that you leave me. I love the interaction that you give me. And so today I wanted to answer the question. Oftentimes I hear this question too often: Venus, how do I begin a process to recreating my lives? And just like I tell my clients and prospective clients, through my process of recreating my own reality and developing these very powerful courses, mental restoration and mental reprogramming, mental imprinting, I often tell my clients that you need three things to begin the process, and what I call the 3 C's to begin the process. One is you need to be committed. Okay, you need to be committed to yourself. The only thing you need to do is to say yes to you. Rediscover your why it is that you want to do what you want to do. Discover why you want to grow and evolve. Discover why you don't want to keep repeating the same behavior patterns. Discover your why. And when you discover your why, it will bring inspiration and encouragement. It will be a driving force for you to commit to the process of recreating your reality, to the reality that you now want, to being whoever you aspire to be, to having a particular career, to perhaps moving into entrepreneurship, or perhaps if you are already a businesswoman or a businessman, perhaps is to expand your business. Perhaps is you aspire to be a speaker or a writer, whatever it may be, an entertainer, a teacher, whatever it may be, whatever your aspirations are. When you discover your why, it will drive you to the reason why you are committing yourself to this process of restoration, mental reprogramming, so that you can begin recreating your life. The second C of this process is consistency. Nothing happens without repetitiveness. Nothing happens without our willingness to be consistent. And so here's something to think about. When we were children, when we were toddlers, think about the English language. How did we learn the English language? How did you and I come to a point where now we are able to verbalize our thoughts? We are able to verbally communicate with one another and dialogue with one another and understand one another. And how did we come to a point of speaking our native language, and all those who speak their native language? How did we come to a point where we can speak this English language, where we can write the English language, where we can understand the English language and in its entirety. We've gotten to this point right now where you and I both are being able to know this English language like the back of our hands. We got to this point by a method called consistency. This language, our vowels, our consonants, our syllables, A, E, I, O, U, and sometimes Y, all of these things was drilled and embedded in us. And we rehearsed it since the time we were toddlers, since the time our parents or your guardians have been encouraging you and educating you, since the time you started school and your teachers have been inspiring you and encouraging you to learn the English language and to learn all of the other things, your timetables. When you look at your timetables, how easy does it come to your mind when you think of the timetables, the 5 timetables, the 7 timetables? When most of us, if we were at, in a desperate situation or a horrible situation and someone just asked us a timetable, how much is, 5 times 5, we would immediately give the answer because of how many times it has been drilled in us and rehearsed in us. So when we're speaking about consistency and using the analogy of the English language, we know it so well because it has been drilled time and time again, over and over and over, to the point where it moved past our subconscious from us actually doing it, physically speaking these things, physically learning these things, and it has been mentally imprinted in our subconscious. So when we think about engaging and enduring and practicing the process of what it's going to take, mental restoration and mental reprogramming, mental imprinting, the process that it takes, when we think about how do we do this, we need to be consistent with all of the practices that is going to allow us to now begin to manifest certain things. And the only way to do that is by consistently speaking your affirmations, consistently meditating, getting connected so you can receive divine information and divine direction as to which way you need to go in life. Who do you need to choose to be around you? Who do you need to let go? You need to be consistent with using visual imagery. There is a host of methods and techniques that you can use for mental reprogramming and mental imprinting, and also discarding all of those things and thoughts and patterns that no longer serve you. And so the third thing in this process, the third C is, guess what? What do you think it is, family? The third C is compromise. How often in our lifetimes, I know I am, guilty of this. How often in our lives where we have found ourselves being uncompromisable, like we just will not budge. We will not move. We are uncompromising. We don't want to change our behavior patterns. We don't want to change our thought patterns. We don't want to change the way we do things. We don't want to, move outside of certain, circles and relationships that we done put ourselves in. We don't want to leave a job that is causing us physical illnesses and mental illnesses. We don't want to stop doing the things that are unhealthy physically, mentally, and spiritually to us. We don't want to introduce new ways, new thought patterns, new activities, new belief systems. And when we are unwilling to compromise all of the things that no longer serves us, we do ourselves a huge disservice. Not being able and willing to compromise keeps us confined to living in a box. And when you are living in a box, not to say that you can't progress, that you can't make moves, that you can't be mobile, that you can't accomplish certain things, but living inside of a box spiritually, physically, and mentally combines you to 4 corners. You are not able to see outside of that. You are not able to do outside of that. You are not able to gain new perspectives and learn new things and create new avenues and create new doors. You're not able to do any of these things if we're unwilling to not compromise. And so in order for us to step outside of this box, we have to be willing to compromise. We have to be willing to compromise our old thought patterns that don't serve us. We have to be willing to compromise relinquishing certain relationships, because let's just be honest, people come into your life for seasons. Everybody that enters your life is not always meant to grow roots. I always use the analogy when I'm discussing this with my clients, and if they are having issues with either inviting certain people into their life, new relationships, or relinquishing old relationships. You are like a tree, right? Think of a tree outside. Get into your mind. You are like a tree, and all the beauty and greatness of the makeup of the tree. It has an outer body. It has an internal body. It has so many layers. And on the exterior part, let's just speak about the exterior part of the tree. Excuse me. The tree is made of the tree stalk. It is the body of the tree. It is the foundation of the tree. But let's consider the roots of that tree. Let's consider the branches of that tree. Let's consider the leaves of that tree, right? And so just as the tree experiences many different transitional phases in, through, and out of the seasons and cycles of life, we too do that. And we can relate that to the relationships that we're in. Some people that come into your life, whether they are your mothers, your fathers, your guardians, sisters, brothers, co-workers, cousins, aunties, uncles, whoever it may be. We're speaking just about people in general, regardless of the role that they play. Some of them come into your life and they are there to stay. These are your roots. No matter what comes, no matter what season comes, the winter, spring, summer, fall, winter, they will not get too cold. They will weather the storm. They will weather the snowstorms. They will weather the cold weather. They are not going anywhere. They have become so attached to you. They are your foundation, a part of your foundation. They are your inspiration, your motivation. They are your go-to. They are your ride or dies. They are they are your cheerleaders and your coaches. They help build you up. They help keep you grounded. Those are the individuals who come into your life, who are there to stay and endure the long haul. And then you have individuals that come into your life who are just like branches. Now consider the branches. You have the branches that are with that are all shapes and sizes. You have thick ones, you have medium sized ones, you have the real flimsy ones that, with the flick of a finger, they break. They're not meant to withstand the transition that you go to. They're not meant to hold you up and push you into your greatness. They're not meant to do that. They're just meant to support you for a specific season, and then they're off. This is why we can't take things too personal with the people moving in and out of our life. Allow people to serve the purpose that they serve for that season. Allow people to serve the purpose they serve in and out of the seasons. Whomever may stay, whoever may go, whoever is meant to stay, and whoever is meant to go. And then you have those who are just like the leaves of the tree. We all know these people in our life, okay? Some of these trees, some of the leaves, sole purpose is just to give shade when it's hot, or just to give warmth when it's too cold. But they're not meant to withstand the many transitional phases moving in, through, and out of the seasons with you. They are meant to come in your life for a specific reason, to serve whatever purpose at that moment, and only you can discover what that is. I had to learn that. And so whenever I am doing something involving me dealing with someone, introducing a new relationship into my paradigm, my circle, my family, or if I have to relinquish a relationship, I remind myself not to take it so personal, because I just look outside and at the tree, and it helps me to remember people are in your life. They come in your life for various reasons, and we can't take it too personal whenever they leave on their own, or whether they stay, or whether we have to cut that cord. So in the process of, moving outside of this box, some relationships we have to relinquish because they're not meant to drive us into our purpose. Some people don't even understand the dynamics of your passion and your purpose and your destiny. And so when we begin to move outside of this box, this limited box with all our limited ways of thinking, our behavior patterns, our belief systems that no longer serves us, when we take baby steps and begin to expand our mind by mental restoration, when we begin to expand our belief systems, when we get to expand and invite and allow new circuits to fire off in our mind by visualizations, by affirmations, by meditation, by connecting, we receive new ways, new paths, new creative energies. We rise to higher levels, to higher vibrations, to higher frequencies. And all of a sudden, you see so much clearer. You see your path more clearer. You see people in a different view, in a different light. It really expands and broadens your world. So when you're thinking about the process of what it takes to recreate your reality, you need to be committed to the process, committed to yourself. You need to be consistent in your practices on this road, because it's not always going to be easy. It would be unbefitting and unbecoming of me not to be completely transparent and honest with you. In order for you to operate and to flow in this path, you're going to need to invest. You're going to need to invest your time, your energy, your resources, your gifts, your talents, your finances. I didn't get to where I am by not investing my time, my resources, my finances, my gifts, my energy. And I'm at a beautiful place right now. I am living in abundance in all aspects of my life, and I'm continually expanding my abundance in all aspects of my life. And that's not to say everything is running smooth all the time or perfect, but I am in my abundance. I'm living in it. I have experienced it. And now that I have moved myself out of this box, I never, ever want to go back. And this is what I teach my clients, how to move outside of this box. And so the last thing of that, I was willing to compromise. I was willing to move away from family, friends. I was willing to leave previous jobs. I was in the military. I served, and meanwhile they offered me, loads of money to stay in. I knew that my time was up. I was willing to sacrifice and to compromise my to me, it was a kind of mediocrity. It was a mediocre life, because that wasn't my life. It wasn't my purpose. It wasn't my passion. I was doing something. Yes, I was comfortable receiving the health benefits for me and my children. I was comfortable receiving those monthly checks, even if I took sick time. I got so comfortable. I was willing to compromise my purpose. I was willing to compromise my beautiful creativity. I was willing to compromise my growth and my evolvement. I was willing to compromise becoming the woman I am today, until one day I said no more. Until one day I hit rock bottom. I was just in a deep state of depression. And this is what we have to be mindful of and cognitive of. Living in this box can cause you so much pain and turmoil, mentally, physically, and spiritually. And until you decide to move outside of that box, until you are willing to be committed to the process, until you are willing to be consistent in your practices, that's going to evolve you, mature you, and grow you, and set you on a road to recreating the life that you want to live, or to become who you aspire to be. Until you are willing to compromise, you are at risk of you. I don't like to say this, but I must be honest with you. You are at risk of mentally destroying yourself, physically destroying yourself, and spiritually destroying yourself. Many people go through this all the time, and it extends from our our unwillingness to compromise all those things that no longer serves us. Our unwillingness to move outside of this box that we have become so comfortable, and it's like it has become our safety net, but that is just a trick of the mind. Living in a box is never ever safe. It is never ever safe for you. Scarcity is not abundance. Fear is not abundance. And all of these things, anxiety is not living in abundance. All of those things short circuit your creativity, your ability, your aspirations, and short circuits your drive. And so in saying all of this, family, in order to recreate your life, you need the 3 C's. You need to be committed, you need to be consistent in the practice, and you need to be willing to compromise all the things, people, places, and everything that does not serve you. And that is what I would leave you with. Once again, thank you so much for joining me at the Venus of Goddess show here, where we inspire, encourage, and commence in healthy dialogue. Please, I want to hear from you. This is no fun for me, hearing myself or just be. I want to hear from you. Please post your comments, post your ideas. Let me know if what I said has helped you in some way. Respond to me. I love communicating with you. It brings me the greatest joy, and it inspires me as I inspire you. So leave your comments. Subscribe, follow me, and always share the message, because me and you were introduced because someone was kind enough and caring enough to share it with others. People need to hear certain messages, and you never know what they need until you share it. So I encourage you to subscribe. I encourage you to leave your comments so I can respond to you, so we can commence and healthy dialogue in our community. I love creating words. Make sure you subscribe, and until next time, but before I go, if you are seeking and serious about recreating your reality as a transformational life guide, I am here for you. Visit my website at www.inspiringthemassesllc.com. That's www.inspiringthemassesllc.com. inspiringthemassesllc.com. There you will get a glimpse of all of the products, services, and sessions that I offer. I am most certain that there is some way I can serve you, whether it is through a book, ebook that I've written, whether it's through the inspirational material and content that I create, whether it's through an inspirational video, or whether you're ready to take the next step and request your free guidance call, where you and I get to discuss on a personal level, one-on-one, how I can best serve you and help move you and push you in, through, and out of the transitional phases of these life cycles, so that you can begin recreating your reality. Please share, please pass it on, and as always, I love you. I am with you. I am your sister, coach, and growth. I am your transformational life guide. I am here to celebrate you, to honor you, to love and adore you. And as always, I will see you next time. I bid you love, peace, and always, always, always divine light. Until next time, family.